Welcome to this podcast for Guardia Civil and Army officers who want to improve their English. Here we talk about history, culture, and practical situations to help you prepare for the SLP exam. If you are studying for the SLP, remember that we have a special book on Amazon. It is made for Guardia Civil and Army members with exercises, vocabulary, and tips to pass the English SLP exam step by step. You can find it easily on Amazon. Now, let's begin with today's episode. Today we start a journey through the history of the Guardia Civil. This is episode 1, The Origins. To understand the birth of the Guardia Civil, we need to go back to Spain in the year 1844. At that time, the country was going through a very difficult moment. Spain had many social problems, political instability, and economic crisis. Roads were not safe, villages were often attacked by bandits, and the state had little control outside the big cities. Ordinary people lived in fear when they traveled, especially in rural areas. Because of this insecurity, the government decided to create a new force, the Guardia Civil. The idea was simple but very ambitious. They wanted a police body that could work all over Spain, especially in the countryside, and that could guarantee law, order, and protection for citizens. The Royal Decree of 1844 officially created the Guardia Civil, and the first Inspector General was the Duke of Ahumada, Francisco Javier Girón. The Duke of Ahumada had a clear vision. He wanted discipline, respect, and honor to be the foundations of this new force. The famous motto of the Guardia Civil, El honor es mi divisa, honor is my badge, was established from the very beginning. This motto was not only a phrase, it was a way of life for the new institution. The uniform of the Guardia Civil also became an important symbol. The most characteristic part was the black tricorn hat. It was unique, and soon people began to recognize Guardia Civil officers by their uniform. For travelers on the road, seeing the tricorn meant safety. The first missions of the Guardia Civil were very hard. Spain was full of bandits, smugglers, and criminals. Many of them operated in rural areas, mountains, and roads, places where the state had little presence. The Guardia Civil had to face them directly. This fight was dangerous, and many officers lost their lives in service. But their sacrifice helped to make the roads safer and gave confidence to the people. Little by little, the reputation of the Guardia Civil grew. In villages and small towns, they became a constant presence. Unlike other military forces, the Guardia Civil lived close to the people. They had small posts, called casas cuartel, where officers and their families lived. This made the Guardia Civil part of daily life in rural Spain. They were not just strangers passing through. They were neighbors who shared the same life and the same problems. During the second half of the 19th century, Spain faced many conflicts: the Carlist Wars, political instability, and economic changes. The Guardia Civil had to adapt to all of these situations. Sometimes they were used to maintain public order during revolts. Other times, they fought against new forms of organized crime. Their role was always to defend the state and to protect the people. One important element of their identity was discipline. The Guardia Civil was created with a military structure, and this gave it strength. Orders were respected, hierarchy was clear, and loyalty was central. This military style helped them to resist corruption and to create a reputation for honesty. Many people, even today, say that if you want something done with discipline and responsibility, you ask the Guardia Civil. By the end of the 19th century, The Guardia Civil had become an essential institution in Spain. They were respected, sometimes feared, but always present. They had transformed the image of security in the countryside. Traveling was still dangerous, but with the Guardia Civil on the roads, people felt more protected. Their story in the 19th century is one of sacrifice and duty. The first officers built the foundations of an institution that still exists today. Their values of honor, discipline, and service are the same ones that guide the Guardia Civil in the 21st century. The Guardia Civil was born to bring peace and order to a country full of insecurity. And that mission, started in 1844, continues today.